Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to another Washington Wizards basketball stream. Today, we have a terrific performance from Deni Avdija against Finland and the Lauri Markkanen led Finland team. The newly traded Lauri Markkanen, the Utah Jazz, I should say. I know people have been waiting to see, a good performance from Deni, a strong performance from Deni, and that's what we got today, man. That's what we got today. That was going on with you, brother. Glad to see you in here today. Roll ready to have a simple man. I see a D notification. I click, my man. Mackie, what's going on? Deni Avdija today. Leading Team Israel to a victory over Finland in overtime, 89-87. He sent it to overtime. We seen a lot from Deni today. I watched the highlights at work. Uncle Weez, what's going on, my brother? We seen the things we want to see from Deni in this game. What's going on, champ? 23 points. He was 7 for 15 from the field, 46%, 47% if you want to round up. 3 for 8 from the three-point line, 37%, 38 if you want to round up. And he shot 66% from the free throw line, 6 for 9. He had 15 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, plus 9 on the plus minus. Lauri Markkanen on the opposite end, he had 33 points. A good performance from him, but not enough to defeat Israel. Hey, that's what we all want to see from Deni. That's what the Wizards staff want to see from Deni. They want to see this kind of performance from him. I heard, also seen that there was a couple guys that he could have had more assists or something like that. There were some guys that missed some layups. I know he could have had a couple more points. He missed a couple layups with contact. But all in all, 23 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, and a dub. Hey, that's good. That's good comp right there. I heard his defense was really well. He played really well defensively. I know he was matched up on Lauri Markkanen a good amount. Correct? Am I correct on that? He played 36 minutes. So a lot of time. And isn't this the first, is this the first real, it's not qualifiers. This is the group they're in. This is the real deal stuff. Am I right on that? You guys gotta, teach me the ways of the Eurobasket. What's going on, AW? What's going on? Oh, Alon. Oh, what's going on, Alon? My man. Wayne, what's going on? What you said, the way my jaw dropped when he drove left after a screen. Hey, Wayne. Hey, my man. I know. We've been waiting for Deni to show us, man. We've been waiting for Denny's to show us something, man. This is what we trying to see. This is what we need to see when it come time to put that Wizards jersey on. Those are the kind of things we need to see. That's the confidence we need to see from my man. Omer, what's going on? What you say? You're starting at the 3 position. There you go. And we got to see it consistently. Man. That's the thing. This was a great game today from him. He did a lot of things correct from what I've seen and also from the highlights that I watched. He looked like he had a really good game. From the people I've seen who chatted about who actually watched the full game, he did a lot of good. Man. And the next step is just to consistently do that throughout this Eurobasket. When it comes time for training camp, when it comes time for preseason, he needs to continue to do that. I believe that 3 spot is open. I think it's Will Barton's right now, personally. But I do think that Deni Avdija could potentially play himself into starting at the 3 spot. I mean, if he proves it, if he continues to have performances like that and continue to play good defense, hit the three ball, I mean, hey, why not put him there? But this is what a lot of people wanted to see, man. So I'm glad for my Deni fans, he had this type of game. And I'm glad for, it gives the Wizards fans that are a little iffy on Deni, it gives them a little glimpse of the improvements that they are looking for as well. So, overall, terrific performance from Deni today, man. The people who still, the verdict's out on him from those Wizards fans who are still questionable about him, they see something that they can work with. Like, okay, cool. The Deni fans who believed in him feel like this is what he could do on a consistent basis. You guys get a point today. So, hey, I'm happy for the guy. I just want him, now it's up to him to just consistently be able to do things like that. It's up to him to consistently be able to do things like that. Like I said, me with Deni, I'm all for Deni, man. I feel like Deni has a lot of potential. He's shown me in the NBA the things that he can do. He has a lot to work on, but he also has shown me a good amount too. That's why I still like Deni, man. I'm high on Deni still. Me personally. When you say, yeah, it's group stage now. Ben, you said Deni deserved that starting spot. Elon, you said, do you think Deni could be a starter in the Wiz games? Thank you for answering. Well, yeah, I actually just kind of went into that. Yeah, I think Will Barton slotted in as the starter for right now, but I do think Deni can get that starting 3 spot if he performs like this on a consistent basis. It's going to be harder and harder for people, to justify starting a Will Barton potentially over a Deni Avdija. If he, improves like this and has performances like this offensively and especially defensively. But it's all about doing it on a consistent basis and doing it when he puts on that Wizards jersey. This is good. I love this performance against Finland. I hope he continues to have really good performances in the Eurobasket. But it's all about being able to do it when he hits training camp, when he hits the preseason, and when he hits the regular season. He needs to be able to do this against the Lakers, the 76ers, the Cavaliers, the Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics. He needs to be able to do these things against these kind of guys and those kinds of teams. But this is what you want to see. This is what you want to see. So shout out to Deni. Great game. Continue to cook over there, man. Continue to lead Israel to victory. Dap, you said, I'm glad Deni is playing right now because it's only helping him build his confidence. Facts, agreed. He needs to bring that confidence over to the league, man. This is the type of confidence that I want him to have when it's regular season time. This is the type of confidence I want him to have. Martin, you said, I've watched the whole game and he carried the team, came in the clutch. Facts. Zay, you said, I'm so mad. I know, bro. That we're going to talk about D. Mitch, man. We're going to talk about D. Mitch. I know you're Knicks, bro. I mean, hey, y'all signed RJ to the long term, so at least y'all got RJ under wraps. But the Cavaliers looking nice, man. Zay said I would have been happy if you went to the Wizards with the Cavs. F out of here. Denny, nice AF. And you said you are famous in Israel and you don't even know it. I truly don't know it. I truly don't. Shout out to Israel, man. Love my Israel folks. Champ, you said, let's see it against NBA teams. Agreed. Weezy said, if Denny and someone else can take a big step this year, it could be a surprising year. Zay said, RJ better be playing at all-star level. We'll see. We'll see, Zay. We'll see. But yeah, I know a lot of Knicks fans hurt, man, not being able to get Donovan. But it's a great move for the Cavs. I like the Cavs, man. I like what they did. You got Garland, Mitchell, Okoro, Mobley, and Jared Allen as your 5. That's a nice 5 for them. That's a really nice 5. That jumps them up there. If they hopefully, you got K-Love off the bench. You got Ricky Rubio off the bench. Nice. Cedi Osman, I believe. He's still there, right? Ben, you said, what do you think about Denny's quote, we can get a medal? The field contains Jokic, Giannis, Doncic, etc. Hey, those are the things you're supposed to say. I hope they can get a medal. But there's a lot of star talent out there in the field, man. There's a lot of star talent out there. So it will be tough. It will be tough. That's a whole team thing. Not only will Deni have to do his part, his team will have to do his part, and their coaching will have to do their part too. You talk about guys like Jokic and Giannis and Doncic. That's a lot of star power for their, nations. So it'll be tough. It'll definitely be tough. But if Israel can get a medal, and then he can lead the way, because he's going to have to lead the way. Hey, go get it, man. Go get it. Chimpy said Deni Ainge is a cutthroat GM. That's how you got to be sometimes, man. Sometimes Tommy ain't cutthroat enough for me, personally. Merriman, you said, as much that I love Deni, I don't see him as an NBA star. I believe that he's a perfect six-man. I've always said consistently when I've been asked, what do I feel like Deni's ceiling is? I've always said that I hope Deni can become a good role player on championship caliber or playoff caliber team. And a player I keep going to, even though their games aren't really similar like that, but a guy like Miles Bridges, a guy who can hit the three and a guy who can play tremendous defense for the Phoenix Suns. He's not a star, but he's such an important piece to that Phoenix Suns team. He's such an important role player on that team. If Deni can have a Miles Bridges, I said Miles Bridges. I'm sorry. Did I say Miles Bridges the first time? I feel like I'm mixing my players up. Mikal Bridges. I don't know if I said Mikal the first time, but Mikal Bridges. Not Miles Bridges. Mikal Bridges from the Phoenix Suns. If he can have that kind of career, he'll make a lot of money, and he'll be in the league for a long time. I don't know if I said Miles at first. Mikal. Steven. He said he can never play that way for the Wizards because they don't give him so much freedom to do his thing. I mean, that's true. Then he's not going to be the main ball handler and all, etc. When he's on the Wizards. But he will have the opportunity to sometimes, he'll have the ball in his hands at times. And sometimes it'll be up to him to make a play. Go make a play. Go get it for yourself. You don't always got to go look for Brad. You don't always got to go look for Kuz or KP. Sometimes he can initiate. Sometimes he can get aggressive like he has in these Eurobasket games. He can, yes, I agree with you, Steven. He won't have, the freedom that he's have on Team Israel, but he could take facets and take little pieces of what he's doing in the Eurobasket and implement them in his game on the Washington Wizards. The aggressiveness we see when he's attacking, the finishing, the off the dribble threes, etc. He can implement those parts into his game in the NBA level. Those opportunities will be there for him, obviously at a lesser, volume, but they'll be there. They'll definitely be there for him. Anthony, what's going on? You said Cavs are a true contender. They legit have a top 10 player in each respective position except small forward. Yeah, they're top 10 point guard and Garland. I don't know 10 off the top of my head, but if Garland ain't top 10, he's close. He's sure close. D-Mitch, obviously. Okoro, like you said, except small forward. Mobley, if he ain't top 10, he's going to be there real soon. And then Jared Allen, top 10 center. Yeah, they got some talent off that bench too. Martin, you said, if you don't know, tomorrow Deni is playing against the Netherlands. Who do the Netherlands have on their team? Anybody of note on the Netherlands? NBA, what's going on? You said, Wizards make me sleepy, to be honest. They make a lot of us sleepy. Anthony, you said Deni equals Boris Diaw or Batum. I've seen that comp a lot about Deni as well. Boris Diaw or Batum. I wouldn't mind if he had a Batum kind of guy. If he turned into that. Or Boris Diaw's, obviously. I would not mind that at all. I would love that. Champy said, well, if Cavs got Mitchell, Wizards could have got him. Just had to put really good offer on the table. Like you said, Mikal. Dre, what's going on, my man? What's up with you? Merryman, you said, I hope that Deni will average more than 10 points this season. I think Deni, off the bench, what did Deni average last season? Because I do think Deni's going to have minutes. I think he's going to get good minutes. Last season, Deni averaged 8 points per game. He averaged 6 his rookie year, 8 his sophomore year. I think in his junior year, man, I think Deni can average 10 or 11 points. I think he could average 10 to 11 points, especially if he improves on his 3-point shooting. He averaged 8 points shooting 31% from 3. If Deni can shoot 35% from 3, shooting 3-4 threes a game, shooting 35% from 3, I easily think he can bump that up to 10 to 11 points per game on average. I think he can definitely do that. Rich, what's going on with you? Saint, you said, to be honest, I think we are a sneaky team. Brand, you said, what's up, D? How is it that everyone always makes these predictions based off the team from last season of how they played? These teams may not even be good this season. Every season there's teams. And that's because that's all you have is what they did last season until the new season happens. There's always a team that catches guys off guard. Like last season, nobody thought the Cavs, before they started getting injured, nobody thought the Cavs were going to be as good as they were being before Sexton got hurt, Rubio got hurt, guys started missing games. Nobody thought the Cavaliers last season was going to be like that. And they ended up being a really good team before the injuries hit them. There's always a team that turns out to be better than projected. There's always a team that's going to end up being worse than projected. Like the Nets, for example. The Nets were worse than projected. Nobody thought the Nets was going to have that record by the end of the season. Nobody thought the Cavs were going to be as good as they were before they got injured at the beginning of that season. So, there's always going to be teams that surprise and teams that disappoint. That's just natural. Anthony, you said Deni points per game depends on if he starts or not. If Rui is starting, we need him to score like 16 a game. Deni off the bench could have the same numbers, and that's fine. Well, we know Rui's going to come off the bench because Kuz is going to start. It's going to be either... I think the lineup can either be... It may be Morris, Bill, Barton, Kuzma, Porzingis, or Morris, Bill, Kuzma, Porzingis, Gafford. I think that may be a possibility if they want to put Gafford there at the 4. Porzingis there at the 4, Gafford there at the 5, and have Gibson, as the backup 5. It could rock out like that. I think that's a possibility. And they move Kuzma up to the 3. I like that lineup. I wouldn't be mad at that lineup. I'm cool with that lineup. Saint said everyone said the Lakers was going to be the best team. Oh, agreed. The Lakers. I didn't forget about them. And go to the championship, but we all see how that went down. Facts. Remember, you said, to be honest, I hope that Rui and Barton will injury for the season. I don't know what that means. I hope you're not wishing injury on anybody. It's a no. We don't do that. Saint, you said my lineup is Morris, Bill, Deni, Kuzma, KP. If they want KP to be at the 5, I think they have a good... I think Deni has a shot to be that 3. If they want KP at the 4 and pair him with Gafford at the 5 and they move Kuzma up to the 3, Deni's going to come off the bench. They're not going to put Kuzma on the bench. That's just the facts. But I appreciate all you guys being in here. If you haven't already, please make sure to like the video. It helps the video out and helps it get seen by all the people. If you want to join the Wiz family, like my boy Roadrunner, like my boy Uncle Weez who was in here, click the link that I have in the pinned comment in the chat box to join the Wiz family. Or if you want to donate and send a super chat, you can do that as well. But I appreciate all you guys being in here with me. Chimpy said, why wish Rui a Barton injury for the season so that Diddy can play? Take that. Yeah, that, the injury, that's kind of crazy. Not kind of crazy. That's pretty crazy. Take that. You said, if we can win on the boards and play D, we'll be all right. I like what Diddy adds to the ones. I mean, I think the most important thing is how the Wizards look defensively. You know, when the Wizards at the beginning of last season, when the Wizards were a top 10 defensive unit, but the offense wasn't that good. They were still winning games. Even though they were lower scoring because the offense wasn't that good. But the defense was good and it kept them in games. And then the defense started to fall off, even though the offense started to improve, but the wins weren't coming consistently and they fell off. If the Wizards can play really good defense, you're always going to give yourself a chance if you play good defense. If you play good defense, have lower scoring games, you're always going to have an opportunity to win games at a consistent rate. And when the Wizards started off 12-3 and whatnot, the Wizards were playing good defense. The defense was really good, even though the offense wasn't that good. But the defense was able to keep them in games and able to help them win consistently. And once the defense fell off, I mean, we saw what happened. So, yeah. I mean, the most important thing, man, is that defense. Because the Wizards do have good rebounders. I mean, they got Kuzma, who's good at rebounding. Denny's a good rebounder. Brad can get on the boards if he feels like it. KP, obviously. So, I mean, I think the number one thing and the most important thing is that defense. They got to be a good defensive unit if they want to compete in this Eastern Conference. If they want to compete in this Eastern Conference, they're going to have to be a good defensive team. They're going to have to be. You can't get in shootouts with teams like the Heat or the Celtics, or in high-scoring games with the Heat, Celtics, Bucks, 76. You just can't with the Nets. You got to have these grinded out, lower-scoring games with these teams to compete, consistently compete. They're going to have to D up. Tomer, you said Denny's going to be an upgraded Draymond Green or Ben Simmons with 35% three-pointer. Like I said, I mean, Anthony said it earlier when he brought up Boris Diaw and Nick Batum. Like, I think those are good comps. I definitely think those are good comps for him. You know, Denny's still a very young guy. He's still a very young player. So he's still growing. You hope to see the improvements this season, but even if he improves this season, there'll still be more to work on. You know, he's still, what is Denny, 21 years old? You know, Denny's a very young guy, so he has a lot of growing to do still. You know, he's only 21, been in the league for 2 years. You know, so hopefully this season we see the improvements, man. But, you know, the game today against Finland, it was a really good showing. It was a really good showing from him. A really good showing. I like what I seen. You know, like, we talk about Porzingis. I mean, Porzingis is just a beast. I mean, he's an elite talent. Porzingis is just an elite talent. It's not easy to guard him, period. Chimpy said, that's not the Wizards' way. We, a team, never wish any of the team injury. We need them all. It's a team, not the Denny show. That's facts. I agree with Chimp. Dre, you said, Denny and Rui need that next big leap for this team to transcend. Yeah, if the team wants to go to, you know, possibly another level, I mean, Deni and Rui they have to make a leap, some kind of leap, you know. Obviously not no all-star leap, but they have to make that leap towards becoming 3-and-D guys. They have to make that 3-and-D guy leap. They have to. You know, if the Wizards want to possibly, you know, go to that next level. This will be very important because, I mean, you look at this Eastern Conference. I mean, I don't know if the Wizards aren't better than these top 4 teams. We know that. The Heat, Celtics, Bucks, 76ers. The Raptors, I have no reason to believe that they're going to be any worse. You know, they still got Siakam. They still got Anunoby, Van Vliet, Gary Trent Jr. They still have a really good squad. You know, Precious Achiuwa. The Bulls, I mean, they're getting Lonzo back. Depends on how healthy he is. You know, Caruso, DeRozan, I don't think will have that MVP caliber start again, but you never know. Vucevic, so they're still solid. The Nets, They just got Markieff Morris to help out. They got Durant, Kyrie, Ben Simmons. Hawks, obviously, with DeJounte, Trae Young, John Collins. Cavaliers were the ninth seed. They're not going to be the ninth seed this season. They're going to be up here somewhere with the addition of Donovan Mitchell. And then, the Hornets, I feel like, may drop off some. And then you have the Knicks. You have the Knicks. So it'll be a scrap, man. It'll be a scrap. But the Wizards, a lot has to go right to be in this top 8. This top 8 is tough. This top 8 is tough. It really is. So a lot has to go right. Rui has to make that next step to being a 3-and-D guy. Deni has to make that next step to being a 3-and-D guy. What's going on, Teasery? My thoughts on Deni's performance. I was telling everybody that, I was very impressed with Deni's performance. From what I've seen from people talking about it who watched the full game, they were happy about it as well. I said with Deni, he just had to continue to do these things consistently. That's the next step. It won't matter if he has performances like this and then the next game he only scoring 4 points and 30 minutes and whatnot. You got to be able to do it consistently at a consistent level. Doing it in the Eurobasket is great. Now let's, continue to do it in the Eurobasket for the rest of it. Let's take that to training camp. Let's take that to preseason and the regular season. And obviously, he won't have as big of a role offensively on the Wizards, but he can take implements of what he's doing in the Eurobasket and put that into his game in the NBA with the Wizards. The aggressiveness, the, assertiveness, those kind of things. Getting to the basket, finishing, getting his own shot off from 3 like he did to force the overtime. Implement those kind of things into his game on the Wizards. We all know he's not going to have as big of a role offensively, when he starts to play with Kyle, with Brad, and KP. But he can still take and implement some of those things that he's doing in Eurobasket and implement that into the NBA when he comes back. The confidence as well. Transfer that as well, the confidence that he has on Team Israel. So, yeah. But yeah, all in all, great performance from Deni today. We've been talking about KP so much. KP. I knew Deni was going to have one of these games eventually. Coming back from COVID, he had a couple struggle games, but came strong against Finland, in the group play, the group stages. First game, came out hot. Like to see it. Got it to overtime, toughed it out, got a 2-point win. That's what you got to do, man. That's what you got to do. If you want to get that medal, if he wants to get that medal. Anthony said, also, what are we going to do with Corey? He needs real minutes. I think Corey will be kind of in a battle with Johnny Davis potentially to get minutes. I like Corey Davis. Like I said, shout out to Corey. I said Corey Davis. What am I talking about? The football the player, the wide receiver? Corey Kispert. I like Corey Kispert. Shout out to Corey Kispert. Like I said, I always say people always talk about when it comes to the Wizards, young guys, Rui and Deni, but Corey Kispert showed a lot last season in his rookie year. He showed he can play. I'm a big Corey Kispert guy. I like his play style. He has good IQ. I love what he does off the ball. He can help. He can help. And I wouldn't be mad if Corey continued to get minutes. I'm a big Corey Kispert guy. Tamiri said, if Deni continues to defend like this, there will be no choice but to give him 30 minutes in every game. I think, you shoot the ball, you shoot the 3 ball. If he shoots the 3 ball well, he continues to defend well. All he's doing is giving himself a better chance to get more minutes and more minutes. Even if it is starting off the bench, it doesn't even have to be him being a starter. If he turns into the 6th man, he can get 30 plus minutes as a 6th man. If he's shooting the 3 ball at a high level on the catch and shoot or creating his own shot and also defending, obviously. He all he can do is help himself out by continuing to do that. Joseph, Mr. Joseph, what's going on? He said, "Bro, why is Deni so good?" Teaser, he said, "It's because he's been working with Drew Hanley, apparently, man. I don't know." Teaser, he said, "Would you have Kispert have more minutes than Deni?" I think Corey Kispert is like, his minutes, I feel like varies on matchup. I feel like it varies on matchup. I feel like it varies on how he's playing, on how the game is going as well. Like, I feel like Corey's minutes may fluctuate. I feel like Denny's minutes will be more consistent. I feel like Denny's minutes will be more consistent. I can see Kispert's minutes fluctuating a little bit. He may play a decent amount one game, and then in the next game, he may not play as much. I feel like the minutes may fluctuate there. So I could see that being a thing. Definitely could see that being a thing. Mr. Joe, you say he's only 21 years old. Facts. That's what I brought up a little earlier. Yeah. Dre said we need to see all the extra play and word define Deni this season. His upside, especially on defense, could be lethal. Is solid now. Yeah, the defense, like I said, with him and Rui is like to make their leaps to 3-and-D players is opposite. Deni has the really good defense, or the good defense. He just needs to work on the offensive side of things. Mainly, which is the main thing he was working on, which was the 3-point shooting. And then Rui needs to work on becoming a better defender. Offensively, he turned it up at the 3-point line off the catch and shoot. Shot, I forgot, what was it? 40%? Something like that. Something crazy. But, that's what you want to see from a guy like Rui. But he needs to work on the defensive side of things. And flip for Deni. He needs to work on the offensive side of things a little bit more. Because Deni has the defense. Brandon, you said Corey Kispert is our Luka impending. Remember you heard it from B first. D. Corey Kispert does not have any. Our Luka impending is kind of crazy. Chip, you said Johnny Davis not ready. Corey getting the minutes. John gets his minutes with the go-go. Yeah, I think John. I don't know if we see Johnny Davis with the go-go at all. Honestly, I don't think we see him with the go-go at all. I don't know how much benefit Johnny being with the go-go does outside of keeping him in shape. I mean, honestly, I would want Johnny Davis watching and learning and being able to talk, during the timeouts with Bradley Beal, with Monte Morris, with these guys. I want Johnny Davis to be sitting on the bench, so when Bradley Beal does something and it's a timeout or Brad's on the bench, he can go talk to Brad and say, "All right, Brad, what did you see? What did you see right there? How did you get to that? How did you get that shot right there? How did you, manipulate the defense to do this, to do that?" Those are things he can't get in the go-go talking to Jordan Shackle and Isaiah Todd and whatnot. He can't get that from those guys. He can play and whatnot, but, being around, these guys like Monte Morris, even DeLon Wright, Bradley Beal, guys who have been in the league for a while, and had success, that's invaluable. Even just sitting and watching. Mr. Judge, you said, but Deni better than Rui and Kispert. And Kispert too, bro. Harold, you said, such a good channel. Thanks, I appreciate it. Tamir, you said, do you miss Raul Neto? Not really. No, not really. Mary May said, what do you think about Bill contract? Me personally, I was always more with the thought that they should have traded Bradley Beal back in like 2019 when he had a very, high value. His value was very high. I felt like the Wizards could have got a lot for him. But they didn't, and they ended up signing him to a max and whatnot. What are you going to do? So they want to try to compete. Go ahead and try to compete. That's all I can really say about it. Mikey said it ain't going to happen. Johnny's just missing the tools at this point. With Johnny, the last we seen of him was what he did in the summer league, and it wasn't impressive at all. So, hey, what can you do besides hope he improves? That's all you can hope that he does. It's really all you can hope that he does. Mr. Joseph, he said, who's your favorite player on the team right now? It was Kuzma, but I think I've switched over to Porzingis. I'm a big Porzingis guy. I feel like I would say Kristaps Porzingis. I'm a big Porzingis guy because I feel like the Wizards haven't had a guy with elite talent in the front court ever in the longest. So I feel like maybe I'd say KP right now. Porzingis. Tomei said Gafford and Porzingis together is a never-ending block party. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't mind that starting front court. Brandy said, I hear you guys, but Johnny may just step up in the in-season. Teaser, he said, I wonder how Johnny did in LA during the player ran minicamp. Tomei said, the funniest thing is that what Chicago lacks right now is exactly a player like Gafford. They definitely could use a guy like Gafford off the bench behind Vucevic. Mikey said he's got to light up the go-go first. I'm telling y'all right now, Johnny Davis is rarely, if at all, going to see G League time. Corey Kispert didn't see G League time. Deni didn't see G League time. Rui didn't see G League time. What Wizards first round pick has ever seen G League time? How long? I don't remember the last one. Kelly didn't see G League time. Troy Brown Jr. didn't see G League time. Why do we think Johnny Davis would see any G League time? I don't think Johnny's going to see any G League time at all. Like, at all. I think he's going to be on the bench. And I think he may have an opportunity to get minutes from time to time. But I would be surprised if he got sent to the G League at all. Chimpy said, I want Johnny the dog to play, but Summer League Johnny goes to the go-go. I'd be shocked if that happened. Dabby said, how do you feel like Monte Morris will play as the starting point guard? I got my analysis bits, but what's your opinion? I think Monte Morris, I think he can have one of his best seasons of his career, you know? He's going to have a lot of opportunity as a starter, you know, not playing with Jokic, because, you know, Jokic controlled a lot of what the offense did. I think West is going to give Monte the opportunity to run the offense and have the ball in his hands a little bit more, even though we know Brad needs the ball and KP needs the ball and Kuz can have the ball as well. I think Monte, though, has the opportunity to really, you know, have a career year for himself with the Wizards. You know, similar to how Kyle Kuzma turned it up with a bigger opportunity with the Wizards. And that happens for a lot of guys that come over to the Wizards. They have more opportunity and, you know, they have some of the best years of their career. KP came over and was hooping because he had more opportunity because he didn't have to wait on Luka. You know, so I think Monte, man, can have one of his best seasons. You know, but I still could have used a better starting point guard, in my opinion. I wouldn't have been mad at a DeJounte Murray at the time. But I mean, I'm not mad at Monte being the starter. I think he's a good player. I definitely think he's a good player. Larry said we should have gotten Mitchell in DC. We are a joke. Hey, I was in on Mitchell too. I was in on Mitchell. I mean, everybody knows that. I was definitely in on Mitchell. Mikey said, who's your Washington starting five? If the Wizards really want to start KP at the 4, I could see Monte, Brad, Kuzma, KP, Gafford. If they keep Gafford at the 5, then I think it's right now. I think it's Morris, Bill, Barton, Kuzma, KP. Those are the 2 starting 5s that I would assume if KP's at the 4 and if KP's at the 5. Those would be the 2 starting lineups, I would think. Mike, you said good point. Tomei said, what do you think about adding a 4-point line? I mean, sure. Guys try to do it, you know? I mean, I wouldn't hate it, per se. I don't know. I could see it happening in the future. I mean, I'm indifferent about it. I wouldn't hate it, but I also don't care for it. I'm indifferent. but I could see it possibly happening, maybe, but eh, eh. Larry said we need to trade Deni before his value goes all the way down. He's a bust. I wouldn't call Deni a bust. I wouldn't call Deni a bust. That's kind of crazy. Ben, you said if you were the Wizards GM, what moves would you do before the trade deadline to make this team a contender? Man, I would have tried my darndest to I would try my darndest to get somebody, man. I don't know. It's hard. It's easy to say go for like a Shea, Gilgeous Alexander, or a Donovan Mitchell and whatnot, but you got to realize if the Wizards don't remove those protections from that first round pick that the Knicks currently have, it hurts the flexibility of what future first round picks the Wizards can move. So it kind of handicaps you. You know. I don't even know. I mean, maybe try to go for a Miles Turner if you want a 5 next to KP who can spread the floor as well, who's athletic and can block shots too. You know, I don't know. That's a tough choice because Wizards don't have that much flexibility as far as being able to move first round picks. You know, because they have that first round pick from the John Wall trade that's tied up in New York right now. That's preventing them from really being able to move 2027 and 2028. They got to remove the protections. TZ said Larry leave now. He said man's is 21. You call him a bust. Brandy said I'm with you, Larry. I ain't sold on Deni yet. Larry said Johnny Davis is slow and he has no offensive skills. His defense is overrated because he is not fast enough to keep up with these NBA guards. What can he do good at the NBA level? I don't know, Larry. That's a good question. I haven't seen it in Summer League. I haven't seen what really, you know. I don't know. I don't know yet. I didn't see anything that I can really go to yet. You know, I haven't seen anything that I can really point to and be like, that's his thing right there. That's what he can do. That's can help him at the NBA level to start. I don't know yet. Good question. It's a question I have too. Brandy said good starting lineup. D. Mikey said Deni is far from a bust. TZV said Larry, I want what you smoking, bud. Biggie said what's up, fellas? What's going on, Biggie? Mikey said he's in the top 2 or 3 defenders on the team. Yeah, as far as Deni, I wouldn't call him a bust. Definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't call him a bust. I think, you know, Deni has shown a lot defensively. He's definitely shown a lot defensively. And he's shown potential offensively, even though his offense is like, you know, it's still kind of raw. It's still pretty raw, you know, but it's a work in progress. But, you know, the defense has really been his calling card so far. It kind of fell off towards the later half of the season. But, you know, at the beginning, he was throwing up the clamps and all that, you know. But I wouldn't say he's a bust. I definitely wouldn't say he's a bust. I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. Biggie said the Cavaliers look scary, D. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That I mean, as far as the Cavaliers, man, shoot. I mean, I mean, you look at their positions. Really good point guard who can be elite. Darius Garland, if he's not already elite at the point guard position, elite at the shooting guard position, good role player in Okoro at the small forward position, elite Evan Mobley, elite at the power forward position, Jared Allen, which you look for, you know, in your modern day big if he can't shoot the ball from the 3-point line like that. You know, a guy who can rebound and a guy who can block shots. That's what you look for. You know? So, hey. Teasery said, Diddy also can make plays happen. You see it during the rare times he takes the ball up. Ben said, I think Wall reunion would be awesome instead of Morris. I think a lot of it was, you know, John Wall even said, you know, he didn't want to come back and have to be that guy he was, you know, in Washington. You know, he knew John seems, from what I'm hearing from everything he said, John seems like a very self-aware person. He knows he's not at that stage in his career anymore, you know. And he knows, like, for him, for example, even though all the messy stuff with Ted and the making up, you know, it would be a really big role for him, you know, to join the Wizards. The Wizards can't really afford for him to miss a bunch of games and load manage and all that. It will be tougher, you know. But with the Clippers, he can afford to load manage, not play back-to-backs, whatever he needs, and to not have to take a big role, you know. So it would have been tough. And I think he also wanted to go to a contending team, which is what LA is. Mary May said, to be honest, I personally think the Cavs are overrated. I wouldn't say the Cavaliers are overrated. I mean, I can see that, why people may think that, but I don't know, man. I think they're a well-coached team. I think they play as good as a unit. I think everybody knows their role. I think shoot. And this is another thing. Even if Garland and Mitchell aren't the best defensively, I mean, you got Okoro, who's good defensively, Mobley, who's a deterrent, Jared Allen, who's a deterrent. So behind Mitchell and Garland, you got a bunch of defensive deterrents on your front court to protect that and to make up for that. Whatever defensively that Garland and Mitchell lack, Okoro, Allen, and Mobley are going to make up for what they lack defensively. And Garland and Mitchell are going to give you everything offensively, you know, along with Mobley. So what they lack for defensively with Mitchell and Garland, their front court makes up for. And then they got more than enough offense in that backcourt with Mitchell and Garland alone. But then you add Evan Mobley to the fold. Then you bring in Kevin Love off the bench. Ricky Rubio off the bench to run that second unit. I mean, they got a decent squad, man. It's a decent squad for sure. Chimp, you said Deni is not going to be a bust. No way. Just got to improve his offense. That's a joke. Deni going to have a long career in the NBA. I think Deni's a guy who can definitely have a long career in the NBA. I definitely feel like that's, you know, it's a possibility for sure. Larry, you said Johnny Davis was a horrible pick. I mean, it's not. I mean, some people weren't too fond of the pick, man. They thought it was a safe pick. Some people wanted Jalen Williams. I mean, it's tough.
Ever
it's
seen
tough.
You act like this before.
Jay, my man, thank you for the $2 super chat. You said, sup, bro, Deni and Rui bout it this season. We'll see. We'll see, man. If Deni can have performances here and there like he did against Finland, I mean, continue to be aggressive, continue to be assertive, continue to have confidence, you know, continue to be able to play defense at a good level, at a high level, and hit the three ball off the catch and shoot, because he's going to be open at the three-point line. He's going to have a plethora of opportunities. Then, beautiful. Rui Hachimura, if he can step up defensively, that'll be terrific. That'll be terrific. It really would be. Tamir, you said 35 NBA players, 6 All-Stars, 3 Superstars are playing in Eurobasket this year. Mary May, you said, I think that Larry Marketing a big loss for the Cavs. It's a loss, but it's not a loss that would have prevented me from making that trade. TJ, you said also Diddy didn't really have a full first year and was very misutilized by Brooks. I mean, this also is like the first like real off season for Deni. First year, COVID, second year, injury. So, I mean, he's really able to really put in that work this off season, man. He's really able to put in that work this off season. NBA, you said this will be my 4th season of being a Wizards fan. Imagine being a Wizards fan for as long as a decent amount of us has been. It's tough. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. It definitely ain't easy. But we hoping that we get there eventually. But I mean, but to go back to what the Cavs said, to go back to what the Cavs said. To go back to I'm talking about the Cavaliers and Donovan Mitchell. I think they are right, man. They definitely are right. They definitely are right. Larry said Deni can't shoot and his playmaking abilities are not that good. I see Deni as a good role player, a seventh man on the bench, but not a starter. Larry, I agree. Right now, Deni's not the best shooter, and his playmaking abilities are, a work in progress. Let's say that. I think those are valid points. Deni isn't the best shooter. He's currently working on that, and he knows that. He was working on that this offseason, so that's good. And Deni's playmaking ability isn't the best, even in these games, in the Euro game and whatnot. He's had a lot of turnovers, so it's not the best. That's a work in progress. He'll never be a main ball handler. I've always said as he grows in the league, I think he can be a secondary ball handler kind of guy. He's working on the shooting, which will be key for his growth. And the playmaking, if he can come into his own as a secondary ball handler, lovely. Lovely for his career. Like I said, if Deni can turn into a good role player on a contending team, lovely. Because that's exactly what the Wizards need. A legit 3-and-D kind of player. And he's young, so he has time. He has time to work on that. He's young, and he definitely has the time to work on it, for sure. NBA, you said we need to tank this season. Well, that ain't happening. By force. It ain't happening by force. You never know. It may end up turning into a tank season, but it ain't going to happen intentionally. Uptown, you said we have that defense of Deni, Kuz, Porzingis, and Go-Go, Gadget, Gafford, but consistency from them will be the key. They all have to buy into Wes's system. They all have to play as a unit. They all have to know their roles. These are all important things, man. They have to believe in what Wes is coaching. They have to believe in their roles in the system. They have to believe in their roles on the team, and they have to want to do it. They have to want to do it. Simple as that. Those things are all key with the squad. Those are all key things with this basketball squad. NBA, you said hot takes Pistons will make the play-in tournament. If what's his name? If Cade Cunningham can take that next step, if Jaden Ivey is elite to start, they got, who else do they have on the team? Who did they get? Detroit Pistons roster. I gotta look at their roster because I'm losing it. Obviously, Sadiq Bey. I keep forgetting about Sadiq. Sadiq's really good. Marvin Bagley, he seemed like he's found a spot in Detroit. You got Jalen Duren over there. So, I don't know. Maybe they can fight for a play-in spot. Maybe they're like another year or two away. But, they're trying to build a little something over there. A little something. But they got some good pieces. They got some strong pieces for sure. They definitely got some strong pieces. I will say that, definitely. I do believe that they have some strong pieces over there on that team. Roadrunner, thank you for the $2 dono. I appreciate you, my guy. You said Rui is the X factor that can put us over the top. I think it could either be Rui or Deni. If it's a combination of the two, that's terrific. But I think, man, it can be either Rui or Deni. But it's got to be one of them. Their development this season is going to be really important.
I ain't never
really important.
See, it's going
to be really important.
You getting buckets.
So,
how you feel?
Yeah. Hopefully it's one of them. Mainly both. I want it to be both. But thank you for the $2 dono. And thanks again, Jay, for the $2 dono as well. Let me see. Mike said you can't take with 2 potential All-Stars. Agreed. Ben, you said, in my opinion, Wizards have too much forwards. What do you think would be the rotation in terms of minutes? I don't know if Deni could get 25 plus minutes, but I hope he will. The Wizards do have a lot of forwards. I mean, you look at the Wizards roster. They do have a lot as far as forwards. I mean, you got Rui, you got Cal, you got KP, you got Taj Gibson, you got, well, those are bigs, so let me not count them. You got Rui, you got Cal, you got Deni, you got Kispert. I would count KP because KP can play the 4. I mean, so you do got kind of a logjam. You got Anthony Gill. You do got kind of a logjam, man. So I don't know how the minutes. That's why I'm not an NBA coach, and I don't want to be one. Those are the tough decisions that, they got to make. Those are the tough decisions that they got to make, that Wes has to make. And I think at the beginning of the season, there's going to be a good amount of people playing. There's going to be a good amount of people getting minutes as the season starts. And, later on, the rotation will kind of dwindle down. Some guys will start getting DNPs. But I can see a guy like, that's why I said, Corey Kispert, I can see his minutes fluctuating. I really can. It's going to be I don't know. It is a logjam now. It is. Tomeri, you say he's not the best offensive player, but without a doubt the best defensive player in Washington. I mean, hey, I won't argue with you right now. Larry, you said we should have traded Deni, KCP, and Rui for Mitchell, but the Wizards are too scary to do it. We're the biggest joke in the NBA. I mean, once again, like I said, Larry, it would have been tough to make that trade package without the Wizards removing the protections off that first round pick from the John Wall trade, that the Knicks currently have. And why would the Knicks, if they were interested in Mitchell, why would the Knicks help the Wizards out by agreeing to remove the protections of that pick to then help the Wizards maybe potentially leapfrog them? But I don't know. I don't know if the Wizards don't want to get rid of those protections on that pick or what, but that hinders a lot of what the Wizards can do. Because I know they said the Jazz coveted unprotected first-round picks. And the Wizards can't offer a bunch of first-round picks if that 2023 first-round pick is protected currently. Biggie, you said, what would you like to see from Corey this season that you didn't last year? That I didn't last year. I don't know. Corey did a lot of pretty much what I wanted him to do last season. He shot the 3-ball more consistently. I want to see Corey kind of have more of a quick trigger on his 3-point shots. There were times last season where I felt like Corey could have shot the 3-ball, like he was open, he had space, but he preferred to not shoot it. Bertans, even though it was annoying at times, Bertans would get that thing and shoot it. He would just shoot it. Almost anywhere. He would just shoot it. Even though he would brick a lot, that's kind of not to that extent, but I want to see Corey be more confident with his trigger. I want to see him be able to shoot that thing a little bit faster. Sometimes make quicker decisions. Not have to not wait, because that split decision will turn your potentially open 3-pointer into a contested 3-pointer. No second guessing. I want him to be fast with that trigger. Omar, you said Sadiq. Tomar, you said beef stew. Mary May said, how had the best offseason in the NBA? How? Teaser Reed said, crazy how the Knicks literally handed Jalen Duren over to Detroit. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they weren't interested. They were not interested. NBA, you said, if the team didn't have a mental breakdown in the middle of the season, we would have made the play-in tournament a lot when guys weren't happy with their offensive roles. Guys wanted more minutes. It was just a mess. It turned into a mess, and then dudes started going into business for themselves. and it turned into a mess. Okay, Merriman, you said who had the best offseason in the NBA? Who had the best offseason in the NBA? Oof. Let me look at the NBA offseason moves. I gotta see. Who had the best off season? I would say the Hawks are up there. The Cavs are up there. Oh no, man. Right now I may go Cavs. The Cavs have positioned themselves to really be a force. To really be a force in this Eastern Conference. They've positioned themselves very well. I may go Cavs. Biggie, you said, who from the G League would you like to see get some PT? Nobody, really. Nobody. Maybe Jordan Goodwin. I would like to see what he can do out there. Jordan Goodwin, maybe. See what he can do. I give him a name. I give him a shout out. Maybe Jordan Goodwin. Teaser, you said Mitchell and Bill will be awful. To be honest, they can't coexist. I mean, you never know until you try. Mike, you said that trade would stink. Larry said at Teaser, you said Mitchell, Bill, KP Kuz would be a playoff team that could make a championship run. Ron, you said need to get Jordan Clarkson immediately. Yeah, the Jazz still have a lot of guys that they potentially will be okay with, maybe, looking to move on from. Possibly. You never know. Larry said the trade for Mitchell will give the Wizards some national media attention and more hype because right now no one cares about the Wizards. I mean, that's facts. That's facts. The only people that thinks we could surprise some people are Wizards fans. The only people who feel like the Wizards could surprise people are Wizards fans. Nobody else are talking about the Wizards. A lot of people don't have the Wizards in their top 10 in the Eastern Conference. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't think the Wizards are even going to be top 10 in this Eastern Conference because it's so deep and it's so talented in so many teams. I mean, we're even talking about the Detroit Pistons possibly making a little noise. Ben, you said, how much do you miss Davis Bertans? Negative 1,000. I don't miss him at all. Good riddance. NBA, you said the East will be the most competitive in the history of the NBA. Like, yeah, it's deep. There's so many teams that got so many good rosters and so many good players. It's tough. Like, how do the Wizards' top 3 and the rest of their roster match up? Like, how does KP, Bill, and Kuzma match up, and the rest of the surrounding roster match up against a lot of these other teams' top 3s and their surrounding rosters? Those are legitimate questions. Teaser said, do you think Quentin Jackson is going to start on the go-go? I wouldn't see why not. I don't know what the go-go roster looks like exactly right now, but I like what I saw from Quentin Jackson in the summer league, though, for sure. Mike, you said they will when the Unicorn and Brad start balling. Jay, you said Detroit did. Anybody said hot take Kings will make the playoffs. I don't know. They'll make the playoffs or play in. Maybe the play in. I gotta look at the Western Conference. Who could the Kings be better than? Possibly. Not the Suns, Grizzlies, Warriors, Mavericks. The Jazz are dropping. Nuggets are going to be there. The Timberwolves are going to be better. The Pelicans, if Zion stay healthy, are going to be better. The Clippers are going to be better. The Lakers may be better. No, they're not. Nah, I can't see it. I can't see it right now. No, I can't. I just can't see it right now. Mikey said, I love the quiet moves the Warriors made. I mean, the Warriors always make solid moves. They always make solid moves. Always. Mikey said, our season already over and it hasn't even started yet. Hey, man, have faith. Have faith. Mikey said, stop it at, Mbappe, he said, Chimp, you said it's going to be tough season in the East. Facts. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a dogfight for a lot of teams, for positioning. It is. Can the Wizards keep up? That's the question. Can they keep up with these other teams? So maybe said Washington starting 5, Howard Neto, Ishmael, Matthews, Bertans, Captain Hook. Oh man, what a time. Anyway, he said West are so weak that the Kings can make the playoffs. I wouldn't say the West is weak. I would say I think the East is definitely a little deeper than the West for sure. In comparisons to how it was in the past. East got some talent, man. He's got talent. Merriman said, hot take Luka MVP this season. I don't even think that's a hot take. I think that's a very possible reality. I think Luka could definitely have a case for MVP. Alexander, what's going on? You said, what team is going to take a step back? In the Eastern Conference, I think a team that could possibly take a step back, that's like, I'm going to ignore the Hornets. They were already the 10th seed. Knicks didn't make the playoffs. A team that I can see taking a step back, possibly the Bulls. The Bulls were the 6th seed. I can see them maybe taking a step back. Possibly the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors or the Bulls, I can maybe see them taking a step back. And that's a maybe. Maybe. That's a strong maybe. I can't even confidently say that those teams are going to take steps back. Take step backs. But when you look at it, somebody got to fall. The Cavaliers aren't going to be the 9th seed. The Hawks aren't going to be the 8th seed. The Nets may not be the 7th seed. So who falls? I think the Bulls can drop down. I think the Raptors may drop down. Give me the Bulls and Raptors to drop. Give me the Bulls and Raptors to drop. Give me the Cavs and Hawks to jump. Larry, you said Bill is 29 in his prime. This was the perfect chance for the Wizards to make a big move to get Mitchell and trying to win a championship for once in our franchise. I mean, hey, they apparently they be in the hunt, and I wanted DeJounte Murray bad, Larry. You on my train, man. I want a star guy too. Larry said, I see the Hornets second. Yeah, and I didn't count them. They were already the 10th seed. How far back can you drop from the 10th seed? They barely, they didn't make the playoffs. So it's not like I wouldn't even say them take a step back. Even though, yeah, I agree. I think they take a step back. So, Ben, you said game on the line, last shot. Who'd you give it to, Prime Wall or Prime Bill? Give me Prime Wall. NBA, you said hot take, Westbrook will make a 3-pointer. That could very well possibly be a hot take. Larry, you said true. I don't trust the Bulls. They will fall, but Raptors got Scotty Barnes. He's a young star. The Raptors will be good. You said, do you think Bill will waste his prime years in DC? Probably. Probably. I mean, we can hope for the best. We can hope for the best, but probably. But we can hope for the best, though, man. We really can. We truly can. We truly can hope for the best. We truly can just hope for the best. Alexander, you said Prime Bill all day. Larry, you said Prime Wall. Nah, I'm with Larry on that one. Prime Wall. And Mary May, you said, who do you want to see in DC? I would have liked to see Jaden Ivey in DC. I would have liked to see DeJounte Murray in DC. I would have liked to see Donovan Mitchell in DC. I would like to see what's his name? I would like to see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander if he ever were to become available. I would like to see him in DC. if the Thunder ever moved on from Shai Gilgeous because maybe he doesn't fit their timeline. So I wouldn't be mad with Shai. But Larry said I would love to have Anthony Edwards in DC. I mean, never would happen, but agreed. But guys, I'm gonna end it off here. Great stream today. Appreciate all you guys being in here. You guys were terrific. Jay, Roadrunner, thank you for the $2 donations. Thank you guys for all the likes. Like I said before, if you want to join as a member and join the Wiz family, you know, I have the link that's pinned in the chat box if you want to join up. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate all the comments, chatting with you guys. We'll probably be back later on to talk about KP's games, Deni games again, and any other news that's happened. But you guys have been lit stream. Love you guys. Be on the lookout for my community tab because I'll post it the next time I stream on there. But love you guys. You guys have been amazing. Have a good night, good rest of the day, whatever time it may be where you guys are at. But stay safe, man. And I'll see you guys on the next stream. All right. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Peace.